All right, good morning. It is Wednesday, June 5th. We got a busy day today. Let's get into it. All right. So, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Glad you're here. Hope your week is going well. Got we've got lots of things planned today. We got quite a bit done yesterday on the door. I know I didn't show any of it yesterday, but I will show you today what I'm working on, and it's hard to operate a camera and a table saw at the same time safely. So I got all my cuts. I think I got all my cuts done. Pretty sure I got all my cuts done for this window and window frame. I got that all taken care of last night. And glued, so it's set overnight. So I'll show you guys what I'm working on there. So that's one thing. But just a lot of other things planned. I've got 2 weddings that I've got to work on, and I'm going to email both those brides, kind of give them an update on where their films are. I am on vacation next week, so I'm not taking any work with me. I will be vlogging and things like that. I still don't know how I'm going to upload said vlogs. So next week's vlogs might be a little bit different, only because I won't have like my desktop to edit them and all that. So the intros and all that, it might just be, I'm not really sure how it's going to work. So probably should prepare for that. I might be able to take Amanda's old laptop and maybe just use some YouTube's editing software. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. What else is going on? Looking to hear back from Lacey, probably in the next couple days. So trying to get prepared for that. I was able to send out those 2 forms to 2 potential clients. So I might actually go ahead and send out forms for the clients that I have in the next 2 months, so I kind of get a little bit of head start on that. I did realize that there are some grammatical errors in my forms, so I did apologize to the 2 I sent out yesterday. Told them, it's still kind of a beta testing type of thing, but I'm going to go ahead and make those changes now to my master copies and go forward with that. But today, I wanted to talk about something that can be a difficult step to make, especially if you're comfortable, right? So, in anything that you do, comfortability plays a huge role in how much tolerance you have for that thing, right? Whether it's your job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a hobby or a group of friends, or whatever the case may be. Comfortability can play a huge role in how long you stick it out with that entity, and I wanted to impress upon my listening audience or my viewing audience that you need to look at yourself as well. Your happiness counts too, and I know from personal experience, the job I used to have, I kept because I was comfortable. Right? It wasn't by no means the most glamorous job. It wasn't the most fulfilling job. It just was a comfortable job. That, and it was easy. Right? You had a clear set of goals that were almost impossible to reach. I take that back. You had 4 goals. And they changed every month, and you weren't told what they were. You just kind of had, you just assumed that you worked on all 4 every month, and that's how that thing went. But the comfortability came in from knowing what I was doing, knowing the position, and just being comfortable in the position I was in. But was I happy? Not, and I wouldn't say that I was unhappy, right? And I didn't realize that until after I left. So, when I left, it was very nerve-wracking, and it was one of those things where, Amanda had, found, she had wanted me to change positions for a while because she said she could see that I was unhappy, and just being treated unfairly by the company and things like that. And I didn't necessarily see it that way. I felt like, the company thing aside, I felt like I wasn't unhappy. It's kind of how I would put it. But I didn't really have anything to test that against until after I left and started my new job at the hospital. So always, I want you guys, take time for you, right? Your happiness counts. So when you're looking at, the current state of your job, if you're not making enough money, or if you're not, fulfilled, whether that's spiritually or whatever, like, challenged in your job, maybe it's time for a new job. Maybe it's time to take on, maybe you do have, a great job, and you just need to be challenged, right? So maybe you need to reach out to your supervisor, manager, or boss and say, hey, I'm ready for some more responsibility. I'm kind of in this stalemate rut where, I'm comfortable, right? I want to get uncomfortable. I want to be challenged, right? And that's the thing. You don't necessarily have to start a new job or start a new friendship or start a new relationship. You just need to be challenged, right? You need to love what you do. And sometimes, and on the other hand, sometimes it does take having a different experience to show you what you had is not what it's all cracked up to be, right? So yeah, I was comfortable in my last job, and I knew exactly what I was doing, and while the hours sucked, and sometimes the work sucked, and sometimes the people you work with sucked, putting that aside, I was relatively content with what I was doing. It wasn't until going to the hospital and I was like, holy smokes, I'm helping people, save lives. I know that sounds kind of corny, but I'm helping people, I'm helping doctors, I'm helping nurses, save lives and treat the wounded. It's a very spiritual type of fulfillment that I have never had before. Well, I don't want to say never had, that I didn't have in my last job. And because we were selling cable to cable customers, we were selling cable packages and internet packages and increasing revenue for a company. And while I still believe in that capitalism model, where in order for me to make money, the company needs to make money, so I need to do my job, and and that's how it works. Like, I still believe in that. I didn't have this type of feeling. I didn't have this type of fulfillment in my job. So making that switch is something that I would have never considered because I was content, right? So always challenge where you are, what you're doing. If you're not happy, if you're content, and like me, I wasn't not happy. I was content. I was comfortable. Always challenge that, right? If there's always going to be something better out there, right? And sometimes you just need that extra push from a family member or loved one to make that change. I, for one, really have to work on that, because I'm one of those people that if I'm comfortable in what I'm doing, I will continue doing it, right? I had no intentions of ever leaving InfoCision because of I knew what I was doing. I had tenure at the company. I made an impact on what was being done within my division. I was in charge of, a group of somewhere between 30 to 60 people at any given time, depending on how many supervisors there were. occupationally, I feel like I was fulfilled, but having my wife kind of step in and say, hey, I see that, I feel like you're not happy. You come home, and I think, I think something's wrong. And like, I would always kind of shrug it off and be like, no, I don't, there's really nothing wrong. Everything's fine. But if if you're having people tell you that, or if you feel that you are stagnant, maybe it's time for a change. Alright guys, so we got home, had some dinner with the family, Alright, so we got home, had some dinner with the family, had to make a quick run to Walmart and pick up some things for vacation this weekend, kind of stocked up on like snacky food and things like that for the car ride, because it is about a 12-hour, 11 and a half hour ride to Atlantic Beach, which is where we're going to be for a week starting Sunday. So really looking forward to that. Can't wait to break the drone out. I'm taking my camera. Really looking forward to it for sure. So picked up some things for the weekend there. Picked up some things for the ride down over. Yeah, ride over is probably about right. Then got home. Went to the garage and worked on the actual. Got a chance, and then get a chance to work on the garage door window. So really kind of what we're looking to do is really just replace the glass. But in the process of doing that, we had to take out the trim, and so we're replacing the trim and fitting the glass for that specific window. So it's a little bit longer process than simply taking the piece of glass out and putting a new piece in, since the door's so old and quite frankly it's rotting. We're going to put as little money into it as possible, just to appease the lender at this point, and kind of just essentially all we really have to do is get the glass out of there. But personally, me as a perfectionist, I want to make sure that the glass fits nicely and it looks decent from the outside and from the inside. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, make sure you're looking out for yourself. That's a big thing. Sometimes, it's real easy to kind of forget about, your happiness and kind of fall into those modes where you're just like, I'm comfortable. Don't mess with the formula. The saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That doesn't apply here, right? Make sure you're looking out for yourself. Make sure you're bettering your situation. And if you have family members that are expressing those concerns, maybe you should listen to them. And like I said, it's not necessarily like, okay, quit your job now and find something else. It might be something as simple as going to your boss and saying, hey, I need a challenge. I'm not feeling challenged. So, alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening to me ramble on. It feels good to be back. It's a hat trick day, 3 of 3. Getting it uploaded tonight and be ready for you guys to watch tomorrow. And as we get ready for the weekend, we've got some big things planned. So if you hadn't checked out my vlog yesterday, definitely check it out. I talk about the purchase that I'm about to make. I need your guys' input. what would you guys do? So make sure you go ahead and check out that blog from yesterday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.